So I beg to move that the Registration and Other Related Laws Amendment Bill 2000 be taken into consideration and be approved by the Honourable House. Sir, this bill has been considered at length by the Standing Committee.
Very brief.
And there are 3-4 different components of this bill. The first is that it has been noticed by at various levels, both by the central government and the state governments, that a large number of property transactions relating to transfer of property are being conducted by such documents wherein under agreements and in part performance of agreements, the possession of the property is handed over, and across the country, barring a few states, the document doesn't require a registration. And because of the absence of the requirement of registration in those documents, it has been noticed that there is a large-scale also evasion of stamp duty. Those documents become complete documents because the possessions are protected, and it had been a demand coming from a large number of states that compulsory registration of these documents across the country be provided for, and therefore this amendment seeks to provide for compulsory registration of all such agreements wherein part performance possession is sought to be granted. There was a second provision that registration of property anywhere in the country could be done in the 4 presidency towns. Some of the other states were feeling that this was leading to a loss of revenue as far as those states were concerned. This was also leading to absence of knowledge about those property transactions with the registrars in those states because they were registered elsewhere in the 4 presidency towns. The suggestion was that this be done away with. The third suggestion was, in which this bill was introduced, that a fingerprint and a photograph of the person going in for the registration of the document be undertaken on the registered document itself. The Standing Committee felt that the fingerprint and the photograph of both, that is the buyer and the seller, must be on the document itself. The government has accepted those suggestions. There is also an enabling provision in this bill that all documents with the registrar of offices can also be kept in computer floppies and disks, etc., so that inspections will become additionally very easier and record of those properties could be inspected throughout the country. So the bill found favor with the Standing Committee. This was an additional suggestion given by the Standing Committee which the government has accepted, and I move the Honourable House that this bill be adopted.